Hello everybody, my name is Robert and this is Review Clue. Now today I wanted to do my full review on the Xbox Series X. After having it for just a week now, I think I've had enough time to really get to know the console, understand its benefits over something like the One X, and be able to give my full review over to you guys. But of course, before we get into today's video, if this is the first time that you're seeing my face on your screen, then one, lucky you, and two, go down there, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon so you get notified every time I upload. In just 2 days time, we've got the release of the PlayStation 5. I've got content coming out on that, super excited. If you want to see it, get down there, get subscribed, hit that bell. But without further ado, let's get straight into today's video where we talk about the Xbox Series X. So let's start off with the controller. It's the thing that seems to have the least significant upgrades. The Series X and Series S controllers are very much an Xbox controller. If you've used an Xbox One controller in the past, you'll know what this feels like. The main advantages of this one is that it's slightly smaller, it's got more grips, and personally I like how this one feels. Being that couple of percent smaller really does help to give a more comfortable fit in the hand. That share button is there if you choose to use it. Some people, it's become a really big part of their community to take photos and game capture. So having that share button there is great too. And of course USB-C is always awesome to see. So in general, I'm really happy with the controller and how it looks, but how do I think the console looks? And well, I think this is subjective. Personally, I love how this thing looks. This has such a industrial design. It's not trying too hard to be in your face, look, I'm here, this is me. This is something that you can sit in your room and it almost blend into the background. And of course this can sit in two ways. It can be upright or it can be on its side. Personally, on its side, I just don't think this thing looks quite right. I'm not sure what it is about it, but something just doesn't look right when it's on its side. So if you're gonna get this thing, I would suggest having it upright and maybe having it out on display, but you can also hide it behind a TV and such as long as you have good airflow. Remember that you've got that ventil on the top that needs at least 2 to 4 centimeters of space to be able to actually produce good airflow through the console. So the UI. The UI, again, like the controller, is very much not different. Compared to something like the PS5, who had this whole new UI, the Series X and Series S UI are very much refinements over something great. Microsoft for this generation really did go down the route of if it ain't broke, then don't fix it. I'm happy with that. I really like how the Series X UI looks. I think it's clean, it's modern, it's really snappy now. On the Series X in particular, you're not waiting a couple of seconds for apps to load and for menus to load like you did when you had the Xbox One X or the One or the One S. This feels a lot more snappy, and so it should with all of that computing power. So let's talk games. I'm going to get it out of the way now. There simply aren't very many games to play on this thing. Not that are purely for Series X and Series S. You do have some Series S and Series X optimized games, but they are in a handful. Things like Watch Dogs Legions, Call of Duty Cold War, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. 3 incredible games that look absolutely stunning. But I think they look stunning on the Series X, but they also look stunning on the One X and the One and the One and the One S. Across all of the console generations, I genuinely think these games look stunning. But what the Series X can do is take that and expand it to the next level. Let's take Call of Duty Cold War, for example. Now, there are 2 modes that you can have this in. You can have it at that 120 Hz, and with that you'll have to disable some of those extra beauty features like ray tracing. Or you can bring that down to 60 Hz and just turn on that ray tracing. And ray tracing really does make a massive difference. Ray tracing is real-time reflections. It's things like when you're running around with your gun, you'll actually see the reflected environment around you rather than say, a cube map or a pretend image of the reflection. It is really, really subtle, but it is something that really does make a difference when you're playing, especially the campaign. In multiplayer, I switch it up to 120 Hz to give me the upper hand. But for the campaign, I think having this ray tracing on really did make all of the difference. So, 120 Hz, 4K HDR. If you don't have all of these features, should you be looking at something like the Series X and S just yet? Now, this is a new point for me because I've got a TV, thankfully, that supports HDMI 2.1. It supports 4K, 120Hz, HDR, variable refresh rate. If I didn't have all of those features, I'm honestly not sure I'd be getting the full extent and power of the Series X. If this is the case that you have a 1080p TV or even a 4K TV 1440p, you're probably better off with the Series S, unless you're willing to shell out £1,000, maybe more, on a new TV to go alongside your new console to really make use of it. And I think that comes with being an early adopter at this point. You've got to have all of the newest technologies already there in your workflow, in your life, to really make the benefit of this console. Let's talk acoustics. This thing is whisper quiet. You cannot hear a thing when this is running, and I love that. Normally with the Series X, with the 1X, in particular, when I had the 1X under my cabinet, it got noisy super quickly. With the Series X, I don't hear it at all. It is whisper quiet, and it doesn't even suffer from any kind of heat. I never find it gets too hot, and I think it's just that perfect balance between noise and heat for it to be perfect for next generation. So let's wrap this up with, do I recommend buying a Series X? This is difficult because I think it is an incredible system. I think the power that it produces is incredible, but I'm not too sure that the games are quite there yet to really take advantage of everything that it can do. Sure, you've got some nice ray tracing in games like Watch Dogs Legions and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, but is that worth a £450 price tag right now? I'm not sure. I'm not sold. I'm really glad I've got it, and I'm really glad I've got it there for when games start to become more optimized for these consoles. But at this point in time, unless you're a die-hard Xbox fan and really want the best of the best, I would maybe suggest waiting out for this one and getting it in the new year, or maybe even a year down the line when we've got some new games that really take advantage of all of that Series X performance. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, then please do consider dropping down there, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon. Tell me in the comments, do you enjoy your Series X? Have you managed to pick one up yet? What games have you been playing on it? Let me know. Anyway guys, my name's been Robert, this has been Review Clue, and I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.